Feeling a little spring fever? We've got just the remedy. People to people, videographer Ronnie Hoof takes us to the Atlanta Botanical Garden.
Welcome to the Atlanta Botanical Garden. I'm Mary Pat Matheson, the Executive Director of the Botanical Garden, standing in front of the Fuqua Conservatory, which houses a beautiful rainforest. And today we're going to talk about Orchid Daze, a stunning exhibition of orchids designed around a hanging garden theme. Come on in. You're about to see the largest orchid center in the United States. We're looking at the hanging gardens of Babylon, no, hanging gardens of orchids at the Atlanta Botanical Garden. And these are all pansy orchids, most of them. And I wish you could smell it. They're fragrant. They're incredibly fragrant, which is a wonderful thing to have this time of year, right? And of course, they're beautiful. And they're called pansy orchids, you can see, because they look a little bit like pansies. And they have these wonderful faces. You can see this one has beautiful crimson with cream, and then that splotch of yellow in the middle. And they just come in all colors and sizes and shapes. And orchids are the most diverse flowering plant family in the world. There are 25,000 species and 250,000 hybrids. So enjoy these beautiful orchids. This is another part of the Orchid Center that's really beautiful. We change it out all the time. And of course, with Orchid Daze, it's all about orchids. And the thing about orchids is how diverse they are. This is a cymbidium, much taller than the pansy orchids we were seeing earlier. And look at the beautiful color on this plant. It's almost blended to the foliage, that wonderful green, kind of an apple green, with this beautiful lip. The thing about orchids is the more you look at them, the more interesting they become because of the spots and the colors. And they're just a fascinating group of plants. Let's go see some more. Isn't this place absolutely beautiful? Filled with orchids, misty, sunshine streaming in, and the colors, I can't describe them. You really have to see it for yourself. This beautiful purple, again with a yellow lip, and then one of my favorites, the lady slipper orchid, appropriately named because it has this beautiful slipper. Isn't that a beautiful orchid? It's almost like plastic, but it's not. It's the real deal. Once again, walking through the Orchid Center, filled with beautiful colors, and this is a room within a room of orchids hanging within an Orchid Center room. Just spectacular. And of course, now we're going to move into the third room, which is the low elevation house, because these orchids grow in the rainforest at the lower elevations, beautiful, tropical, succulent, and colors spectacular. And this is really my favorite room of all, the low elevation orchid house. I love it because it's always warm and it's got more orchids than any place we have in the whole garden. Again, these wonderful lady slipper orchids. And this piece, this is just spectacular. It's purple and fuchsia with a white lip. And then over here are the rings of Saturn. These are, we playfully call it that. It's really rings of orchids, just in a spectacular hanging garden. Really, what we like to do are things that are unusual that you wouldn't predict. And I think this fits that beautifully. These are moth orchids. They come in fuchsia, they come in white. They come with splotches, they come pure color. They are just one of the most beautiful and prolific blooming of all. Thank you for joining me here today at the Orchid Daze at the Atlanta Botanical Garden. But I hope you'll take my word for it. You can't enjoy this from home. You really need to come see it yourself. It'll be up through April. Stunning orchids, one of a kind, the most beautiful display in the United States. Come enjoy what's in your own backyard. We'll look forward to seeing you soon at the Orchid Daze at the Atlanta Botanical Garden.
Thanks, Mary Pat. You can see those beautiful orchids now through April 15th at the Atlanta Botanical Garden. For more information, visit atlantabotanicalgarden.org.